Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Another year, another reiteration of a tabloid narrative that we've all heard before. According to this exclusive from the Mirror, King Charles is not content with Archie and Lilibet video calls and wants to be present in their lives. Like I said, we've heard this before. Now, judging from some of the comments underneath the posts on social media, a lot of people are not entirely convinced that this is the case. A lot of people were quick to point out the fact that King Charles and King Charles alone has had the power to have a relationship with his grandchildren and has simply not taken the steps to do so. It is King Charles's decision, or he definitely has the power to provide proper security for Harry, Meghan, and the children, and has chosen not to do that, even though we've heard just recently how many millions of dollars Charles contributes to his brother's security and, well, for spending money. People also pointed out the fact that King Charles was the one that took away Frogmore, even though it was gifted to the Sussexes by the Queen Elizabeth. People also pointed out that Charles is the King of the United Kingdom, a man who flies here, there, and everywhere in his private jets and airplanes. If he genuinely wanted to see those children, he could have taken a trip to see them at any point. There was also an article that surprisingly said the King says he wants to see Harry's kids, so why did he kick them out? Now, personally, I was surprised to see that article saying something that a lot of us are thinking and basically just stating the obvious. So I am hoping, fingers crossed, that there are those within the British media who are going to have the gumption to actually call a thing a thing.
King Charles is not content with seeing Archie and Lilibet over video calls and is keener than ever to build a relationship with the children. I wonder who's leaked this story. Camilla is pitched at the end of the story as being the amazing, great person that's helped Charles move to form this point of view. Camilla the puppetress in the background, moving everybody around on the stage. The simple facts about this are, Charles has unlimited wealth, time and resources. If he really wanted to see anybody in the world, it's pretty simple. He tells his people, hundreds of staff, I want to see these people on these days, make it happen. And then he sits back in his chair with a big mug of Earl Grey and his minions do the bidding and it's all arranged for him. If Charles wanted to see these children, Meghan and Harry, he would have done it by now. He's had years to do it. This is some positive PR instigated by Camilla to make him look like a half-decent father.
And I'd have to say I agree. Now, recently there was a bit of backlash directed towards King Charles after a recent interview with actor Kevin Spacey and Piers Morgan. In this recent interview, Spacey hinted that the king had reached out to him to offer him support. One of the articles states, when asked whether the king reached out to Spacey after his recent scandals blew up, the actor replied, no, I haven't heard from him directly. Upon pressing further, the disgraced actor admitted to have received a message of support from Britain's head of state through other people. And if we've been paying attention to how Charles, Camilla, Kate, and William sort of navigate getting their message out there, it's very rarely directly. It's usually through aides and courtiers. So that sort of tracks. Kevin refused to delve into the details of his conversation, noting, I don't want to drag him into all of this. For the inverse, the actor was tried over accusations of misconduct and harassment by multiple survivors. However, he was acquitted of all charges during a trial last year. Royal watchers expressed their disappointment over the implication of the King's association with Spacey. Quote, it's very disturbing. Connect the dots, one exclaimed. This is disgusting. How am I not shocked by this? Wondered another. Meanwhile, many drew parallels between the king and his brother for his notorious links to the late Epstein. So yeah, am I surprised? No. If we've paid attention to Charles, we've known that he, like Andrew, has a very long history with very problematic people. People who have been accused of doing unspeakable things. Savile that priest. I can't remember his name right now. And let's not forget one of Charles's closest mentors. So yeah, there's a history there. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that there are people that are actually surprised. So it's interesting to see the people that Charles chooses to support. He couldn't answer the phone when Harry called him, unless it was to get Harry to come over because he got a diagnosis. But he can support Spacey, if Spacey is to be believed, and he can shell out millions of dollars to support the non-working royal Andrew, while simultaneously having their office leak these silly stories of his desire to have a relationship with the grandchildren he has not lifted a chubby finger to support or see. Boy, bah. And in other news, after Nigel got that drink thrown at him, apparently he's to be offered private security. Oh my goodness. The comment section underneath the link for that article was hilarious. Lots of people pointing out the double standards. Harry's fighting for the right to pay for the security. He doesn't even want taxpayer-funded security. He is okay with paying for it himself. This one gets a drink thrown at him. This one, who also joined in on the tirade of why Harry and Meghan does not deserve security, right? But now he's getting security. When I tell you, Al Sharpton was correct. Harry and Meghan's union has unmasked the seedy underbelly of some of Great Britain's most esteemed institutions. With each turn, they'll regularly prove Harry and Meghan right. It's no wonder Harry wanted out long before Meghan. It's no wonder that he didn't hesitate to say no when asked by Anderson Cooper in that 60-minute interview if he'll ever return to the fold as a senior working royal. He didn't hesitate. And why would he?
Future of the monarchy. Of course, then we had Harry there. Now they are further reduced with Harry not being there. We assume that the Princess of Wales, Catherine, will not be there, though that has not been ruled out specifically by the palace. Could be an opportunity for her to step forward for 5 minutes, but I am divided about that because it would seem to me to overshadow the day which is the King's Day. So would she want to do that? I don't know. But I'm sure, well, obviously we'll see William there, presumably the children, and the small number of royals who are now working royals.
That's what it's all about, working royals. It's about showing off the royals are actually, serving duty and actually properly working. But you mentioned there that Prince Harry won't be on the balcony. We don't expect him to be on the balcony. You've seen him on the balcony before. It's such an important family lineup. All the pictures, everybody's happy, they're smiling, their faces up, watching the fly past. Do you in any way miss Harry being on the balcony, or do you think that one day we could see him return with Meghan on the balcony?
I can't see Harry returning to that, really, no. And yes, I do miss him. I mean, Harry was the most popular royal, wasn't he, a few years ago. And having watched him grow up and known him just a little bit, he was a wonderful little boy and a charming, jovial adolescent. At least that's what we saw. And he was brilliant for the royal family. He did bring a natural common touch, a relatability that would have been a great asset had he stayed. But as far as Harry's concerned, though, I mean, I hope, and I don't pray, but if I did pray, I would pray that he has a happy life now and all that he wanted, the freedom he craved, and he did crave that freedom. The wife he loves, the children he adores, the family life and that model of domestic bliss that he didn't have in his own adolescence. And I wish him all the best.
100%.
And to think all they had to do was to treat Meghan as a human being. And it's interesting to see the continued conversations about the mistreatment of Duchess Meghan.
The way in which these two allow themselves to be used against the Black women they are in proximity with needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. And you cannot convince me that they are not aware of the benefits that come with allowing themselves to be used against the Black women they are in proximity with. They are very, very much aware. Very much aware. And obviously, Kate is royalty. I don't believe in that shit, but Kate is royalty. So when it comes to earning things, she really hasn't. She doesn't have to do anything to earn the title or the position in which she holds. But Caitlyn, I think this is why this is so unfortunate for Caitlyn, is because she's actually a good basketball player. She can actually earn herself an illustrious career. But they're not allowing her space for that. They're not allowing her space and room to truly earn it. They want, because she's a princess, and because the majority of her competitors happen to be Black women, they want everything to be just given to her. They want everything to just be laid at her feet. And I don't know how that serves her, other than to put the Black women she's competing with in their place. That's the only reason. And Angel Reese was extremely correct when she said that this whole thing started because she did the "you can't see me" against Caitlyn after Caitlyn had done the same thing against others. But it was Angel's audacity. It was Angel's arrogance to think that she could do that. And she needed to be knocked down a peg while protecting the princess. And I also find it extremely interesting that there are other white women rookies in the WNBA this year that have not allowed themselves to be used in this trope. They have not allowed themselves to be used in this trope. And I can bet that it's a very conscious decision.
To be a Meghan Markle fan to be disgusted by the UK tabloids' treatment of her. And I think now some time has passed and we have some distance from it, we can analyse it properly. When Prince William criticises the monarchy's stiff upper lip tradition, he's brave. When Meghan does it, it's dubious. Starting off with a tame example. When Princess Kate got married, flowers are fantastic, but Meghan's flowers put children's lives at risk. Again, with these flowers. Princess Kate requests air freshening candles for her wedding at the Abbey. It's a cute little side note. When Meghan requests it, it's dictatorial. Kicking up a stink. This avocado one by the same newspaper could be a parody if you didn't know. Of course, I couldn't do this video without doing the baby bump wars. Meghan and Kate cradles her baby bump tenderly. But why can't Meghan Markle keep her hands off her baby bump? Is it pride, vanity? What on earth could possibly be wrong with someone cradling their own baby bump while pregnant? Some tabloid journalists were genuinely upset that Meghan was holding her baby bump, and they were not upset when Kate did it. What is that? When Kate and William spend their Christmas with Kate's family, that's fine. It's fun. It's a cute little story. But when Meghan does it, the Queen deserves better. It now seems obvious that the higher-ups at the tabloids decided that Meghan was not their sort and that she wouldn't do at all. They then decided to label everything she did as, at best, a departure from protocol, at worst, a malicious attack on tradition. The tabloids told you that Meghan, the black outsider, has attacked your tradition. This racist bullying by the tabloids has gone unchecked, and no one has been held accountable, and I wonder how we can make change. Because honestly, this is inappropriate, wrong, and I don't believe that that's what the majority of British people want.
And in other news, Prince William continues his quest to be seen as a global statesman.
I'm just not sure about this William statesman era. And before the royalists go mad in the comments, let me explain why. I think since the time of the suffragettes in the UK, deeds, not words, and not photo opportunities have been the most important. I actually think in this photo, William looks like a Tory MP that's about to lose his constituency, but what do I know? The British working royal family need to focus on what their mission actually is. How are they going to add value to the UK in 2024? What are they going to do, not say? What are they going to do to bring the media attention to things that the British public need to talk about? They effectively need to copy exactly what Harry and Meghan do to be successful themselves.
I would say don't give them any ideas, but Lord knows they've already been trying. Question of where is Kate continues to be a talking point of many on social media. This week there were rumors of her possibly being in Houston receiving treatment, and there was even an article saying that Prince William is showing that the monarchy is at its strongest now without Kate, which is a very interesting choice of words. A lot of people are continuing to have this conversation and pushing the inconsistencies that has been constantly coming out of the palace.
doing as much as she's doing, you know, these sorts of stories are not helpful and shouldn't be perpetuated. So for the
Okay, I just want to say that I absolutely loved this video. And I think that you said something very powerful, and it got me to thinking. So when you were talking about the British media, and essentially not only have they taught the public how to treat members of the British royal family, but typically the members that they don't like at the moment, but they also taught other news media what was and was not okay to report about the British royal family. Like, they literally created the situation that they're in. And the saddest part, at least in my personal opinion, is that behind all of the lies and the deceit, the propaganda, the dehumanization is a member of the British royal family feeding the British media that story. That these people are more than happy to eviscerate one another, to betray their family bonds. And for what? To be the most popular royal? To be the person that gets all the likes, the clicks, the views, the follows? Are you serious right now? You just shredded your family member because you wanted more people to like you? Now listen, I am by no means a doctor, and I do understand that narcissism is a personality disorder, and I'm not here to diagnose anyone, but what I will say is that I do believe that it is a sickness when people do stuff like that. Like, you are so desperate to be worshipped that you would betray your own. And the fact that we, whether knowingly or unknowingly, have been watching the British media, the British royal family, watching them tear each other apart in real time, that's wild to me. That is wild. And the fact that the people who were typically on the receiving end of that were women marrying into that family. Can you imagine finding what should be the love of your life only to be torn apart by the people that he holds dear? And it didn't matter whether it was Meghan or Diana or Kate or Fergie or even like that other wife of that other child that nobody seems to remember. They all got smoke, and for what? Because somebody in the British royal family needed that person to know their place. Like, that is so toxic. And in most circumstances, I think that I would genuinely feel sadness and empathy for Kate. To have people blast her like this all over the world. But the problem is that she had no problem playing her role when it came to Meghan. Oh, she had no problem leaning into it. She had no problem being toxic and problematic when it suited her. And to me, I don't think that is redeemable. She knew that Meghan's mental health was so fragile that she wanted to delete herself from the planet, and she didn't say stop. She didn't speak out. She didn't push back. She continued to play the role of the evil stepsister. And for what? To be the most popular wife? Like, what is happening here? And like, genuinely, it makes me think of that old saying. How does it go? When you dig one grave, you better dig two, because the grave you dig for me or someone else may also be for you. That's the situation Kate finds herself in. That is the situation. Y'all said it was okay. You said it was okay to go after people regardless of what their mental or their physical health was. You said it was okay to report in the most heinous of ways. You said that. You supported that. And now it's a problem? That ain't how this works.
The way that the palace, well, specifically Kensington Palace, has handled the Kate debacle, every press brief that's given to reporters like Rebecca English of the Daily Mail and all of the other members of the Royal Rota, every pushback, and especially Kategate with the fake photo, has caused irreparable damage to the reputation of Kensington Palace. And remember, in recent years, we will constantly hear members of the press and royal fans saying how they're looking forward to William becoming king and that he'll do such a better job at being the monarch than Charles. But the way that Kensington Palace has handled this, the inconsistencies, and my God, if you really sit and pay attention to the dates and all that has happened since Kate's disappearance from the limelight, it's been nothing but inconsistencies. And a lot of people are paying closer attention to Kensington Palace. So I feel like William and Kensington Palace has done such a horrible job. And at every turn, you see Charles and Camilla handling this with ease, an ease that doesn't seem to come naturally to William and his team. And I don't know, have you guys noticed? So, have you guys noticed more talk about, oh, we're looking forward to William as the monarch, he's going to be so much better? Or has those talks dwindled? For me, I feel like I don't really see people saying that since this has occurred. A lot of people are side-eyeing and questioning just about every move or every talking point that comes out of Kensington Palace. So, yeah. I mean, starting off from the beginning when they put out the story that it was a planned procedure, right off the bat, we're like, that doesn't make any sense. Because if it was a planned procedure, why did you guys have things scheduled, upcoming trips scheduled? You know, the math just wasn't mathing. And it still doesn't.
Oh dear. As if the one of King Charles wasn't bad enough, they've gone and released another terrible portrait of one of our overlords. What the hell is going on here? I know Kate hasn't been seen for 6 months, but that's hardly an excuse to forget what she looks like. She didn't sit for the portrait, unlike King Charles who sat for his, and apparently was very good at it. Well, what a surprise. I mean, it's hardly like there's a shortage of photos of her to go by. Maybe we don't need to know what she looks like. Maybe she's changed quite a lot since we last saw her. It could be that this is a more accurate portrait of her now. I mean, she definitely looks healthier. Maybe time away from temper tantrum Willie and grinning manically all the time has done her the world of good. What do you think?
Oh snap, is that Prince Harry? That boy a beast. Okay, I see. Oh, he's strong. Why they got Prince William out here looking like this? Oh Lord.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.